this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the truth on the law of attraction with that of language patterns, understanding why affirmations may be holding you back, how to transcend them and create what you really want easier than ever. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the truth on affirmations, understanding how we can transcend that of what are called language patterns and how that actually may be holding us back. Now, maybe you've experienced it before where you've experienced something and then in trying to describe it, you realize that there really were no words for explaining something. Now, in ways, language can have many benefits to us in life because language allows us to really dial in on explaining something, on communication. But at the same way, the way that we talk to ourselves, the way that we think to ourselves, many times we will hold ourselves back by thinking thoughts and having a certain dialogue in our mind of these labels, these definitions, which may be actually holding us back. Now, this is something I realized because the more I've got out of my own head and into my own body, the more my life has changed. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, the more I've done what I'm passionate about, which for me is making videos, the more I'm in this vibration of doing what I love, and the more that because I'm in that vibration, I find more and more reasons in my life to be reaffirmed that kind of state of being, that kind of life situations. Everything is equal to that vibration, that state of being. So in general, one of the main parts of this video is understanding that language limits us. As much as it can free us up in certain ways to communicate, it also many times also has the opposite effect. So the key to this is being aware of how you speak to yourself, being aware of the affirmations you're using, and how the affirmations may actually be limitations in of themselves. So in order for us to get beyond that of the language patterns we use, because the thing is we may be saying that I'm capable of making this certain amount per month. We may be focused on the side effects a lot of times of our goals. I know that the more that I focus on doing what I love, the more the money has come anyways. It's a funny paradox because normally when you're all focused on the money, it ends up creating something like resistance. You end up experiencing a lot of resistance, but the more you focus on what you just love doing and you find ways of adding value to people in that way, then the side effect of that is the abundance. So this is about being aware and breaking everything that you want to create down into an emotion, into more of a feeling, rather than even just a feeling that you label. So we may say, oh, that would feel cool. That would feel exciting. I would feel passionate about that. If instead what we do is we get down to the core vibration of what it is and we focus on feeling that more and more, we're going to increase that inside of our body and inside of our life. But if we put labels on it, then we've automatically started to define it. We've started to limit it. If I were to say that my name is Aaron Doughty and I'm just a YouTuber, I'm a YouTuber, that's it. Put me in this box of being a YouTuber because I make daily YouTube videos. Then I limit myself because I could be much more than that. I could become a speaker. I could become somebody that coaches people, that helps people. I could become somebody that adds value and does something with philanthropy work. There could be many different areas that I am in, but the moment I put a language barrier on it, I put a definition on it, is the moment I begin to limit myself. So while sometimes these can be powerful ways for us to transform our life, because we could take ourselves at one level of our self-image and then transcend it to the next, at the same time, that may actually be limiting us. So the key to this whole process is understanding awareness. Where do you lie with that of what you're creating in your life? For example, if you're in a certain place and your intention is to get beyond the current self-image that you have, and you use that of a definition, maybe currently you're at 100 and something pounds, and your goal is to lose 15 pounds, and you're reaffirming that this is the body weight that you're at, that can help you to start to see yourself in the new way. So you change your self-image, and then with that self-image you change your habits that go along with that, you change the thought patterns that go along with that, and the language patterns that go along with that. So it can be powerful. The key though is to not limit yourself and to keep that as who you are forever, because eventually you could become even more in shape, or you could find that that's even a limitation of itself. Say your goal is to make, let's say right now you make $50,000 a year and your goal is to make $80,000 a year. You could set the goal to make $80,000 a year, but eventually that will be a limitation of itself, because what if you could be making way more than that, but you limit yourself by saying only the 80,000. So there are times when the awareness is powerful because we become aware of how to transcend where we currently are, because the version of you that is making 80K a year versus 50K a year has different thought patterns, has a different way they think about themselves, has different actions that they take on a daily basis, and you could begin to model that now and begin to create that reality for yourself, because everything we experience in our life is a reflection of who we are being. So if you link up to that, then everything changes. But at a certain level, that may eventually become a limitation in of itself. Now, as I've said in other videos before, you don't even really want to make the goal just the 50K a year, the 80K a year. It's good to have some type of external benchmarks, but what I found even more powerful is to get to the emotion and get to what you love doing, and to focus on increasing that state inside of your body, and especially when you tune that to something greater than yourself. So what I mean by this is my main intention is to add value to as many people as possible by making these daily videos. That's my primary intention. Now, I understand that the way the universe works is what you put out is what you get back. So by me having the intention to add value to people, that eventually comes back to me. So I become more abundant. But the main intention is to adding value first, because then I get beyond myself. So in the same way, what I encourage you to do is to drop a lot of the labels and to redefine what your real goals are. Are your goals including what you're passionate about? I remember back in the day, I was focused on something called Kindle publishing, and I wasn't passionate about it at all. Now, of course, it was a way to make money, but even then, I wasn't really even focused on that of the adding value via these books that I wasn't even writing. They were books I was outsourcing to someone else, and I was learning how to market those books. And I did that for about 6 months. But I found out that I wasn't really that passionate about it. It was a lot of work to manage people that were writing the books, to then get the books, to do all of this stuff, to sell a book for $2.99. And it was just like this, it was a lot of work. But not only was it a lot of work, I just wasn't really passionate about it. So when it would come, these challenges would come up, I just feel a lot of resistance. Now, if there's challenges that come up, I push through it because I love what I do, and it's just a part of the process. It's not something that really weighs me down. But you see, I had to redefine what I was passionate about. I had to go for that instead. Everything you want to experience in your life can be broken down into a vibrational state, a state that when you're in, you attract things easier than ever. Think about your goals right now, and think about the language patterns that you have around that goal. How do you talk to yourself, the inner dialogue in your mind, how do you talk to yourself about that goal? What words do you use? Because the words that you use, the definitions that you use, the labels that you use are going to keep you within a certain bubble. Call this a belief bubble. A way for that you see the process, a way that you see yourself. And what will happen is this bubble will control your life until you become aware of how to break beyond it. One of the easiest ways to break beyond it is to stop using all the words and instead get down to the vibration. To realize the words are a limitation of themselves. You may be using affirmations that may be actually holding you back for a certain level. Words are powerful tools, but they are not the end-all be-all. I've had experiences in my own life through meditation and through deep levels of states of consciousness. You simply can't put into words. And if I were to stop the experience, because I couldn't understand it and I couldn't put it into words, then I would have completely limited myself. But in general, as you raise your level of consciousness, you will need affirmations less and less. As you raise your state of consciousness, language patterns become more and more irrelevant. Because then you move from thinking, you move from doing into being. When you are in the being vibration, you transcend that of language patterns. Because then it's more about energy dynamic. It's more about how you are projecting by being. You're not trying to project, it's just you are. You see, this is a different understanding of affirmations. This is a different level. But the key to this and the key to this whole video is finding what you are passionate about, finding your flow state, and getting into that state as often as possible, because that state of being is the highest vibrational expression of you. And when you get to that place, you won't need affirmations as much, because you start to merge your conscious mind with your subconscious mind, and you start to be the best version of you. There's a lot of trying when it comes to thinking and doing. And there's a lot of ease when it comes to being. So shifting from the triad, there's a triad of all of us: what we think, what we do, and who we are, how we are being. When we shift from thinking and action and doing into being, that's where everything begins to change. And the way that you do that is by simply following your passion, observing the thoughts that come up, observing the labels that come up, and then just deciding to simply let them go. The more you let go of these thought patterns that come up that may be actually limiting you, because you get a lot of negative self-talk as well. You may say, I'm going to go do this, or this is the kind of person I am. And there may be a voice in the background that goes, no, you're not. That's not who you are. What are you talking about? The key is not to fight that voice. The key is to observe that voice and to allow it to be there. The paradox is that by allowing it to be there, you begin to transcend it. It's only when you resist it are you fighting with it, and it keeps you lower down. The key is in the observation. The key is in the awareness. Become aware of what you are thinking. Allow it to be there, and understand that the more you shift into the fundamental core of what you want to experience, the more you will experience that in your life. Language, as much as it can be a tool, can also be something that holds us back. And that's coming from someone, I'm a very, what they call auditory type person. It means that there's normally 2 or 3 kinesthetics that we all use. Some people are very visual people, which means that when you ask them to imagine something, they think about it in terms of what they can see, what they would see if it were there. Some people hear. That's someone like me. I hear because I'm a speaker. I'm someone that hears kind of my thoughts. You're someone that just feel. They just feel. They're kinesthetic. However, if you're like me, or in general, everyone has a little bit of all 3. But in general, what you can begin to do is to transcend these and get straight to the vibration themselves, because the vibration is what you want to experience anyways. Think about it. Anything you want to experience in your life is because the emotion it brings you. If you want money, you want freedom. You want security. If you want a relationship, you want connection and love. You don't necessarily want what you think you want the emotion that thing will bring you. So knowing that, how can you use that to your advantage to then transcend what is holding you back? To get straight to the core vibration. Because the more you get to that core vibration, the more your life begins to change. So the key is in the observation of your own thoughts, understanding why you want what you want, and then simply, as cliche as it sounds, following your passion. Follow what you're excited about. When I started making daily videos on YouTube, I felt this flow state. So I said, I'm going to do this every single day. And I've done it every single day since February 2017. I absolutely love doing it. And by doing it, it has completely transformed my life. Find something you can do every single day that puts you in the vibrational state that you want to be in, and just simply feel into it. Transcend the dialogue about it. Maybe thoughts come up. Oh, I like doing this. Oh, this is a flow state. Am I in the flow state? I don't know if I'm in the flow state. Observe those thoughts. Allow them to be there, and then focus on the feeling inside of your heart. When you start to create from your heart, you start to create from a much higher paradigm. There is so much power when you create from your heart, and your heart comes from being. Not thinking, not even doing. It comes from being, because you are naturally love. That is who you really are. That is the higher state of consciousness, which is who we naturally are. It's simply we've been taught and we've been conditioned that that's not the case. So the key is in the awareness. So what I'd encourage you to do is to find out ways that you can get more to the core vibration of who you are. how you can let go of what no longer serves you, and how you can break everything you want down to an emotion and simply choose that you feel the emotion right now. Because the more you choose to feel that emotion, the more it begins to change your life. So something else I'm going to be doing is more live Q&As on Instagram. So if you haven't followed me on Instagram yet, I'll go ahead and link it right below. I also post daily content there as well. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the little notification here next to the subscribe button so that you can see the daily vids that I do. And other than that, as always, peace, much love, and namaste.